Alright, I've been sending expeditions to Brazil now. Haven't really been getting territory. This was a colony completed, so they have additional province there. I mentioned that the Zenji bar missions weren't in here, but there actually are. The permanent claim, and then Western fortification. I think it's a separate, it's not a mission that you get Zenji bar for free. So I've actually completed a bunch of these, but I'm not taking them now because I want to, a lot of these give trade power. This one gives ship trade power plus 10%. This one gives base 20 trade power in Congo. This one gives 20% trade power abroad. There's one that gives, this one gives trade power in Mexico. This one gives trade power abroad for owning 10 provinces in Brazil. Hopefully I can, 80% I should be able to get that soon. So I want to wait until I do this one. Because then I'll get 10% extra ship trade power. Some trade power in the Congo. I'll get 20% trade power abroad from this one, 20% trade power abroad from this one, and then 15% trade efficiency from this one. So that's 40% trade power abroad, 15% trade efficiency, a little bit in Congo, 10% trade power from ships. I want to try to also make the metropolitans in charge of the country, so that would give an additional 10% trade efficiency and 10% global trade power. So I feel like I could just stack all of those and make 70, 80 ducats from those a month for 25 years. I believe all of these last for 25 years. So I think, yeah, this one requires me to own 15 provinces in the colonial Eastern America region, so I'm probably not going to do that one before I take that stuff. In Mexico, that requires some stuff I'm probably not going to do as well. The metropolitans are actually close to taking over. It's very hard for people that are not the nobility to take over because they have 67% power and then they have so many privileges that adds influence. I've gotten rid of some of them so far. I don't think they have any privileges that add influence anymore. They have state alignment and noble marriage, adding 0.1 each. The metropolitans have one advisor. So if I could switch to 3 burger advisors. I don't think I've ever seen a merchant mill advisor. It's also very expensive to get rid of level 3 advisors. 34 ducats. This guy is searching for the 7 cities, so I'll uncover those territories. And then I have an explorer exploring the Indian coast. He explored 2 provinces, 2 sea zones. Apparently he can't explore this area. Indian Ocean coast. Just really don't want to explore the coastline. I just don't want people to know I exist. I guess everybody up here already knows I exist, so... Alright, let's go explore the Indian coast. Yeah, other than that, hopefully I can go back to getting provinces over here. I've been sending them to South Brazil. I think a couple to North Brazil failed, so... Some of these provinces don't really have any people at all. They don't show up as having residents, but they should have 10,000 residents just pop out of nowhere. Or not residents, peasants. Alright, so they explored Madagascar. Which... that province is a little bit of coal. That province is just sea salt. Alright, go to the North Atlantic, sure. It's pretty far away. Sending colonists over here. This province has ivory for exotics. This province has coal. Remember, this province was a good province, I think, in my Fez campaign. It has 206,000 peasants living in it. And this province has 120,000. Figure it's better to do that than send colonists over here, because I don't know when I'm going to release Brazil. Seem to be doing a little bit worse. Well, I got a new province for them. Which has 27,000 people in it. Pretty far away from their current provinces. They're also not colonizing themselves, which they did briefly. I gave them... they have money, so... I feel like they should be doing that. Looking at our national income, we make 1,100 ducats a year. 563 of that is from property. I'm not sure what that is, because we only own 7.7% of the land and 14% of urban property. 115 ducats is lost to tax farming, 524 is lost to corruption. So of that 1169, we get a whopping 529. We get 5 ducats more than is lost for corruption. My corruption is at 50%, so half. Halfway. That's actually not from laws. From laws, it's 7.5%. I know in the Vietnam campaign, most of our corruption was coming from laws. So that's not the case now. It's mostly coming from state. Which, their loyalty is 49%, so I think that's why. There's no good way to increase bureaucratic relations. Like, even promoting the bureaucrat faction doesn't improve, because it's based off of corruption. Something like that. So, can't actually increase their opinion of you through supports like you can the nobles and burghers. Speaking of which, the clergy, I thought they would have gotten rid of this prepare for religious war once they added evangelical ideas into the game, because this has now the Deus Vult CB, Empire of Truth, is now what it's called. But they're still prepared for religious war CBs, so you can still do that even without doing evangelical. I assume because religion isn't fully implemented still yet. As another province for them. Their capital, yeah, their capital's not doing too good. Farmland size, 125 out of 125, negative 58 ducats. Forestries, negative 67 ducats. 444 nomads are dying. Why don't they just work the fields? Just work the fields, guys. I'm definitely going to cool it on the investment into Brazil's provinces, especially, you know, after this one. I guess the fortunate thing is the state really doesn't own much property here. It's all the peasants, so the peasants are pretty much just paying themselves higher wages, which pretty much is a wash. Alright, this province is cored. Province doesn't have a trade modifier, but it does have 16,000 people living in it. 309 mine size. I'll go ahead and put 10 ducats into the mines. 364 out of 810 farmland size, plus 283 ducats. 500,000 people living in the province. Labor difference is 26, so I'll just throw 100 ducats into farmlands. They should be able to handle that, and then 20 ducats into forestries. Just wondering how much irrigation ring 3 would cost, probably in the thousands of ducats, I imagine. Yep, 1,100 ducats, which actually probably isn't really all that bad to pay that. I think I'll wait until that farm size gets up a little bit, because they produce right now 181 units of food, so that's an additional 20%. So that would be a lot of food. What would amenities rank 2 cost, actually? You know what? I'll go ahead and just pay it, and then put 10 ducats into urban industry. There is a higher education industry in this province. Houseware, textile, luxury cloth, processed materials. Also cola. What is cola? I assume that's some kind of crop. It is an exotic food. I don't think I've ever heard of that. And then 10 ducats into academic. Looks like there's, oh no. This area has a bunch of countries in it. I thought that was really just like one country. 2 countries, and then I noticed this, and then there's a little orange speck right there. Let's go ahead and do that, that's fine. We get an additional advisor, an idea cost negative 5%. Okay, so it looks like Flanders is still colonizing over here. They have an angry mob. Yeah, they can do that. Denmark, Bohemia, and Friesland. That's probably why France is not fighting them. Does France want their territory? Oh, come on, France. What, the one time you don't want to expand north? I want you to kill the colonizer? They don't even have to kill them, just remove their ports. They only have 3 ports. Come on, France. No, 4 ports. Do something. Do something, France. Be a chat. I think Zanzibar is going to lose their province. Hopefully it doesn't get looted too much. It's been a little bit of time since I've done a census, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, tenant size 7.2 million, growing by 47,000 per year. Inward movement 12,000, outward movement 9,000, close to 700,000 fighting age men, 437,000 nomads. They're actually not dying, they're increasing by about 2,000, a little bit less than 2,000, 80,000 Fighting age nomads. 620,000 residents, 26 natural change per year, so they're not dying anymore. About 4,000 people moving to the cities. Close to 100,000 nobles, 391 being born each year. Burghers still dying, there's 23,000 of them. And then clergy, about 43,000, 50 million. That is completely wrong, but 50 million people total. Wealth, I'll just skip wealth for now. Industry, food, we produce 1,837, demand 2,028, so that deficit is actually closed a little bit. Salts, we produce 371 units, demand 252, so that's pretty good. Fiber, a 3-unit deficit, that's good. Fuel, about a 12-unit deficit. And I can only do so much investment in a forest, so that still hasn't closed yet. Raw materials. Yeah, this is all my investment into forest right here. 50-unit raw material surplus. Exotic goods, we now produce 14.8, but we produce more, we also demand more now, 59. I think exotic good demand is probably... And I'm kind of just making this up. Like, I don't have much evidence, but I assume exotic good demand, the higher your exotic good demand is, I would imagine the better off your country is, because your people are demanding exotic goods, so... I don't know if that is how it works in-game, but I imagine that's how it works. If in real life, that's... would make sense. If your people can demand more exotic goods, more Rolexes, they must be well off, so... That's how I'm gonna take that. Consumer, that's fine. 12-unit deficit. Military is positive, that's good. Naval, we produce 82 naval units. Demand 25. I feel like we demand a lot more than 25, but okay. Industrial, okay, industrial actually has a 31-unit deficit. I should probably focus on maybe opening up some more industrial industries. Luxury is good. That's a close to a 10. It's more than a 10-unit surplus. And knowledge. I'm gonna assume knowledge is like exotic goods, and the more you demand, the better off your country is. All right, so yeah, knowledge surplus increase, or knowledge deficit increased. Everything else seems fine for the most part. I can only do so much academic investment. I don't know if these provinces have higher learning industries, but I don't think so. I'm going to invest in them anyway, because they are my regional capitals. I think they should have... That's academic, not necessarily higher education, so as long as they have... Well, this province doesn't have the other education. Religious education is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that province does not have religious education. Probably not worthwhile opening up in a capital. Regional capital 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, because there's only 12 slots, so higher education is going to be one of those, luxury cloth is going to be another one. So I think I'll just leave that province without that, so I don't know where that investment is going to go, because it just slips into the ether. That's why, for exotics, that's why I'm trying to colonize down here for that bit of ivory. All of India seems pretty much on par with tech for the most part, so I don't know. I don't believe I would actually be able to grab anything from them. The lowest is Miltech 16. We're Miltech 21, so I think that's right on that cusp where probably not gonna get stuff. You might get one eventually if you send 10 expeditions. So I'd like to explore this area. think I'll send an expedition over somewhere over here. Indian Ocean. They've sent a couple over here. Alright, that is a natural location province. Should have 10,000 peasants and 5,000 residents added with a little bit of burgers. I think that's also close to 10 provinces. There's 10,000 peasants, 16,000 nomads, 5,000 residents, 30 nobles, and 1,000 burghers. Okay, it was this province. I was looking for the province that I colonized. I'm gonna see how that province is doing. Because I think I put 10 ducats into farmlands, 10 ducats into forest in this province, so if it's positive, if the industries are still positive and making money, then I'll do that in all the future provinces. Otherwise, invest more if they could handle it, or less if they can't. Yeah, it looks like they're still positive. Probably won't invest more. I think I'll just do... What does this province actually have? This province has 204 size farmlands, 734 size forestry. So I'll do 10 into farmlands, 10 into forestry. It also has 101 size fisheries and 81 size mines. I'll do 10 into industrial, 10 into mines. I think if there are no peasants in provinces, they will just have 10,000. Which none of these provinces have peasants, which I suppose makes sense. But that's not good for me. Because the nomads seem to be dying. I guess if they die and migrate as peasants or migrate to cities, then that's fine. You'll lose a little bit, but then they actually become productive members of society. I'm gonna need some of these provinces inland to have like 300,000 people. 300,000 nomads, otherwise we're gonna have population problems. As Brazil. These rebels have been at 90% forever, which is why I'm not doing anything military. I'm waiting for these rebels to pop up and they just will not progress past 90%. Yeah, I'm gonna conquer some provinces from Congo, probably that coastline, and then send those troops over here using the Religious War CB from the clergy, since we're at 89%, as soon as these rebels rise up. So, I'm gonna end this part here, wait for these rebels, hopefully they rise up pretty soon, and then go from there. So thank you for watching, goodbye.